one day people will look at her and say, "Oh, you're Trudeau's daughter." That's what motivates me. That's what gets me up in the morning. Building a brand that people trust. Putting away all your fears. The fears are going to exist. You're not going to go anywhere. But knowing that there's something bigger that motivates me every day. I walk down the street everywhere. I mean, even before now, years ago, I come to London. I go into Boots and you have the cashier. Oh, truly, I know you on social media. I know your business. That right there is my life.
That's incredible. I think she deserves it. Let's give it up to you. That was a good one. Okay, now to you, Bobby. As humans, the theme for this year is pursuit of fearlessness. And I want to ask you, what did failure look like to you, and how did you get back from it?
Hi. So I'm going to say I don't follow fear. If I looked ahead with fear, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I focus on intent. I move forward with a strategic vision and the determination to see it through. Even before I started my brand, it was just a name. It was just a name registered as a trademark. I got sued before I put any name to any one of my products. If I feared moving forward, that was the point. When every lawyer in the country told me to just step down and not put my product to the name. It's going to be an expensive brand, don't do it. But the drive inside of me, because I had a vision, I wanted to see it through, I chose to go against the advice. A year and a half later, a painful year and a half later, I actually won the trademark on my name because I decided to fight for my trademark. The brand's called Bobby London, after myself, and the dream was to really empower women. Having been a woman in tech for over 2 decades, a woman who travels, I was in an industry that didn't cater for women, and I wanted to change that. So rolling over at the first hurdle was just not an option.
That's great. Sima, now I want to ask you the same question about setbacks. I want to share a story of one setback that happened to me in my business. After COVID, pre-COVID, I used to go to my sources at least 3 times in a year. I'll go to Vietnam, I'll go to China, I'll go to Cambodia to source the hair myself. Of course, after COVID, are we listening to me, please? I'm going to ask questions. So yeah, I used to go to my suppliers myself, but after COVID, there was no movement, and I had to order online with my trusted sources supplier, of course. And I had taken pre-orders. It was this particular hair that everybody loved. It was very much sought after. And so I took pre-orders, loads and loads of pre-orders. And I ordered a lot of hair. After COVID, everybody was coming out. And it was a big deal for me. Also opening my store by December. And so you can actually imagine how much of that I don't want to mention any figures. And so there was a delay, the hair finally came. And because of the delay, I didn't check the hairs before sending them out, because these are trusted suppliers that I've worked with over the years. And so as soon as the hairs came in, I shipped them out. I sent the local ones, I shipped the international orders, and let's say 3 days later, I went down, because then we were working at home. And so I went downstairs to check on the hair, and it was a disaster. The hair was frizzy, they were tangled, they were hard, they were strong, they looked like sponge. And I questioned my mother, and I'm like, "You've been working on this hair." And I'm like, "Madam," I don't know if I can speak to you. "Madam, suddenly you now see, oh." For those of you that don't understand, they're telling me that's how all of them look like. So why didn't you raise that alarm? Why didn't you let me know? And we sent out tons of hair to people. So now I have to sit down and start calling each client one by one and ask them to return the hair. You can only imagine how devastating that was for me. I mean, I sat in my car and I called my sister and I was crying. I cried so much and I just thought my business was over because, you know, how do you explain this to clients? So my sister calmed me down, but she told me, start calling your clients and ask all of them to return the hair. And I did that. I mean, there were some difficult clients. I remember one of them was in New York. She was somewhere in Tennessee. And DHL was very far from there. And so we booked for the pickup. DHL would get there. She's not home. 3 times and DHL decided not to. And, you know, she sent me a message and said that she's going to call us out on social media. And she sent a picture of the hair in a bin, and then she put the hair in a bin, and she needs her money by the next day, and she's going to call us on social media. And I'm like, okay, but I've asked you to send me an account, and she said she doesn't have anybody in Ghana, so she sent the money all the way to the US from Ghana. I mean, it was a difficult moment for me. It was a great setback. I lost a lot of money, but by the grace of God and with the support of my friends and my sister, we did bounce back. Thank you very much for that. I want to know, please, ma'am, what has been the setback for you? How did that shape your leadership, you know, as an entrepreneur?
So, to talk about my spiritual or the experience I've had in my business. I started very small. All I had was pieces of fabrics, sketches, no sewing machine, just in a small room. And some of my fears were, will this work? If I make clothes for people, do they like it or not? How will my design even come out so well? So I had that fear. But all the same, I was very creative, and I knew where I wanted to go to. I knew where I wanted to get to. Okay, so those were some of my little fears in terms of how people are going to see my design, how I was going to be in the next future. And even now, looking at where I'm going to, there are a lot of challenges that I'm going to, just like you mentioned. People say, call you out on social media and all of that. But it's very funny when, just like you said, when you were even willing to fund the money, the person wanted to make it very difficult for you. I've had so many challenges like that, but I still push through and I make sure I get it done.
Please, ma'am, I'm coming back to you, Julie. I see you as an established businesswoman, and I want to know, how did you move from survival mode to being an established business? I believe a lot of us have been on because a lot of us have started our businesses. Some of us are even working. How do you move from survival to being an established business?
You like sushi? The coleslaw is on top, and then the fresh salmon is on the bottom.
Start thinking like a business. You need to stop thinking more and focusing more on income and start focusing more on infrastructure. And what that infrastructure will look like
Yeah, you will like it because this is technically
and putting things together in a way that the business can run in your absence. So not everyone works in there or taken care of by one person. So I think that's the main thing. We need to change our mindset. We need to think big out. We need to think global because the business is bigger than me.
Hello. Okay, now to you, Mel, before we round up, I want to ask you, what would you tell a woman that wants to start a business, but they feel unprepared or afraid?
I would say start before you're ready. If you wait for having all of your ducks in a row, somebody else will probably take that concept and done something big and probably make a success. So always start before you're ready. And also, I found, because I've certainly created my brand alongside my corporate career, it becomes the forefront when you start actually working on it. And you need to talk about it more. The more you share your passion, you'll be very surprised how many people want to actually join you on that journey and will support you on that journey. So you're probably going to open those doors sooner rather than later if you can start before you're ready.
Thank you very much. And my final question to you, Andrea. You know, during Her Excellency Ziza's speech, she mentioned so many things that she does. She's a wife, she's a nurse, she's a teacher, she's a mother. You know, as women, we carry a lot, and we are still expected to show up. How do you balance all of that? How do you balance growth? How do you balance success? How do you balance family? How do you show up and you still show up looking great? How do you do it?
Yes. One of the greatest things I've come to learn, especially in this season, because literally, as Sewa said, I had a baby 13 weeks ago, is the simple fact there's no such thing as balance, right? Thank you very much, thank you. There's no such thing as balance, but it's you finding what works for you. It's you going against everyone saying you shouldn't be doing this. Slow down, calm down, and be like, you know what? I can do this, and maybe I should do this because I want to do this. Another thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Use your support system. You have people in your life so you can succeed. You cannot succeed without people. Can we remember this? So be careful not to burn down every bridge. Be careful not to slam the door in everyone's face. That's how we succeed, with other people. And it's also, I'm lucky enough to have my husband in the room, is having the emotion, honestly, ladies, we're talking to the ladies, when you marry right. When you date right. Because if you date the wrong guy, he will silence you. He could have told me, go and sit at home, go and look after your baby, because listen, but he said, no babe, do your thing, and he's here to support. So, yeah.
Shout out to the husband, please keep the lead, please give us away. Ladies, inviting, and all the good husbands in the house, please. The boyfriends, well done. Thank you for that. And if you're not, please do better. Sima, I think I'll take the last question to you. How has entrepreneurship shaped you? Shortly.
It has really shaped me. It has really shaped me to be very patient. Very, very patient. And it has changed, my business has changed me. In terms of, we are all different people. And as an entrepreneur, dealing with clients, we are all different people. Sometimes you get sweet people, sometimes you get difficult clients. And you just have to make sure that you are patient enough to be able to handle each and every client of you. Even with your staffs. There are some days they are going to stress you. There are even some days that when you leave things for them to handle, they are just going to mess it up. Thinking the business is not yet. So why did they stress themselves? So it has really taught me to be very, very patient, I must say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my wonderful panel. Ladies, give them a round of applause. You've done exceptionally well. And we're going to leave now, but I want to leave with something small. Her Excellency did say that was one of her women, and I want to stress on that. Let's support each other. When things go wrong, let's have open arms. There are a lot of people that are going through a lot. My sister spoke at the University of Warwick, and then there was a 22-year-old girl who's reading law, and she felt like she was lacking behind. And my sister told her that I started law school at 30 years old, and so there's still a lot more to do. Let's have an open heart. Let's be welcoming to people. Let's support one another. We have to be able to have mentors. Mentorship is something that is very, very good for all of us as well. So get a mentor, have people you can confide in and have a support system. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy the session. We're available after the session, and you can come to us with all your questions. Thank you very much.
Really insightful panel. I just want to acknowledge Dima Blue Creative, who is responsible for our panel. So give them a round of applause. Time for our second panel. Now, our next discussion speaks to something that lots of women know really intimately. That's that delicate balance between home, culture, and ambition. So this panel is called Modern Women's Tug of War Between Home, Heritage, and Global Dreams. And this is something that really speaks to me. So moderating this conversation is a remarkable leader in the world of